Welcome to the YouTube mobile mini tripod. This is what it looks like. Feast your eyes. And let's go to the intro. All right, first things first, let's start off with the tripod. So this is the mini tripod. The reason why we chose this specifically is the thread holes. There's two here that we're gonna utilize to pretty much mount everything onto this setup. So this setup is not, it doesn't have to be static like this. You do have a couple options to make it more stable, which depending on your camera and the weight and all that kind of stuff that you got going, this probably will be the most ideal position. And this is what I actually position it as when I have the Elgato set up to this whole thing, as you saw in the beginning. But if you just have a camera, specifically mine is the Sony ZV-E10, so it's a lighter, smaller crop sensor camera, I can just utilize this first click. And what's nice about this is it's a travel pod. So if you want to use this on your travels as well, for any other things, you can extend it. I think that's the max. Yeah, that's the max right there. So it goes pretty high. First thing is this kit right here, which you'll see in the description on the kit link. You're gonna need 3 pieces. I'm pretty sure this is half and this is quarter. That's how they label it. So half and quarter. This half-inch thread to the quarter, you're gonna put on the bottom right here. So half to the quarter. This is where you're gonna utilize the magic arm. The magic arm, whichever one you use, as long as you have like these 2 bits at the end. Doesn't matter what brand, doesn't matter which one you get, or the length as well. Actually, I don't know how long this one is. I think this is the 11. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 11-inch one. So first things here. Second one is gonna be a blend of 2 things. So this is the barrel to extend this thread hole out a little bit so I can mount this NPF plate. So now the quarter's out a little bit further, which it will get out of the way of the legs. What you're gonna do from here is attach a magic arm to the very bottom. And I'm gonna position this more off to the side here and kind of lock it and set it for now. Okay, so leg position kind of matters here, where if you wanna like push it to the edge of something, you wanna have the 2 legs on the back side. So this tripod leg will face towards me, but let's just say you have a corner wall, you kind of wanna dig it in there, then the 2 legs will be facing out as well. So totally up to you, whichever way you're gonna see fit. The main thing here is gonna be balancing the weight, essentially. All right, so we have the thread here extended. We have the magic arm mounted on the bottom. So on top here, some of you may already have a setup for your camera. If you don't, you can mount this to the bottom of your camera so you can have it attached. I already have a system here, specifically Falcam, that will allow me to just mount it here as well without a problem. So for me, I'm putting this off to the side. I don't need it. And we're gonna go to the first step, which is the plate, the power plate. So this is an NPF power plate. You will be able to put any size power plate on here, on the power plate itself. And what's nice about this is it gives you a digital readout of the percentage of the battery. And what's also nice about this is when you don't use it, it pretty much powers off and it just stays hooked up without being drained. So you're gonna push here to take it off. This is gonna go off to the side. This screw is the quarter screw, which we are going to put here on the extension. Ooh, actually, before I forget, there's gonna be options here for your DC out. So your male threads, which are these, the DC threads, everything's in the kit, so you don't have to think about which one you need, it's in there. So your 12 out is gonna go to your monitor, your 8-volt out is gonna go to the camera. Make sure you don't mix that, very important. And then you also have an option for USB out and a USB-C out as well. So you can have additional and then one more extra 8-volt out. So if you had 2 cameras you want to power with this, you technically could, which is pretty cool. And it's gonna sit up top like this. I specifically have it out so I can have the ease of just mounting everything to these specific ports right here. Next is going to be setting up the monitor. Viltrox 550 Pro has a cool feature of shade. So built-in shade, also the screen protector as well at the same time. You need the thread here, which is going to be, it comes with it, the monitor mount. You can see that this has a little divot here, and then there's a slot. I'm going to line that up. That's on, and this is where it mounts to this magic arm. You can rotate this. This is also flexible, so you can move it around. And at the same time, as you can see here, so like the weight distribution is something you're gonna have to play with. So no distribution issue here. Also camera being on top won't affect that as well. So this is how you can mount it like this if you're not gonna use the Elgato screen prompter, teleprompter. If you use the teleprompter, you actually have to move this all the way to the side, and that is where you're going to mess with this attachment as far as expanding it to get more weight distribution. But we'll go over that in a second. So just for weight's sake, let's make that there. So monitor is good, monitor's on. And what's nice about this kit as well, it comes with the NPF battery. We can go ahead and connect the battery, which you'll see typically with these batteries, if you haven't messed with this before, most of you guys have camera gear setups. There's gonna be metal inserts. No metal inserts here. That's where it's going to go in. And it shows you the percentage. Let's see, it's at 58%. Cool, more than enough. I can adjust this however I want, but like I mentioned, I want it kind of this way. So this is the base. You have your power, you have your monitor, but the thing is, you gotta make sure it all connects. And we're gonna do that with cables. This is gonna be the dummy battery, which will go to, like we mentioned, do not put it on 12, make sure you put it on 8. This is for the camera. Put that off to the side for now. And this is going to be for the monitor. So we have HDMI in. Okay, so HDMI is in. This will go to the camera as well. So we'll put that off to the side. And then power for this monitor is here on the right-hand side. So DC 12 volts. We're gonna plug that in and feed this across. Another thing, like when you're building setups, like coil cable is clutch with everything. So just so you don't have clutter or you don't have to wrap things around. So 12 volt up here. So we have 12 volt, 8 volt, that's powered on. And we can actually see if this powers. Turned it on, power is on, Viltrox, so cool. Monitor is connected, 12 volt to 12 volt. We did have to push this power button to get it going, and no signal because it's not connected to the HDMI. Sweet, so it works, verified. Put this away for right now. Sony Camera that I'm using specifically, ZV-E10, very good starter camera. But to get this going, with the battery, you can put a battery in here, but with this camera specifically, you can't record more than 30 minutes and pretty much like dies. So to prevent that, dummy battery, which what we got here will go in, help us record for longer time periods. I mean, as long as the battery has juice essentially. And a lens. So the lens that I have here is the Suri, pretty sure that's how you say it, the 16 f1.2. 16 millimeter in general is pretty much what you want. F1.2 is optional. You can go up to like f1.4, 1.8, 2.4, your preference, just depending on budget. So this is actually overkill, 1.2, what I've noticed. So you don't have to go as low as that. And let's put this on. Lens on, and so this mounting type is the Arca Swiss type, which goes perfectly on top of here. Once it's on, screw it tight so it doesn't move. And now we have our initial setup. This is exactly what you saw with that prior sneak peek. And put open this and we turn on the camera. Make sure we have power. We should have a live feed. Oh yeah, there we go, HDMI. So HDMI is not plugged in. On this camera specifically, here on the left-hand side, we have HDMI micro. On the kit link itself, you're gonna have multiple options. You have the micro, you have the mini, and then you have a regular HDMI. So just depending on which one you have, the recommendation is just make sure you get coil. I like colors because then it tells me which one is going where. Unfortunately, some of these just don't have color options when it comes to the 12 volt, but I do have a couple things that are gonna be more colorful coming in. Also, color options are on there as well. So we have the HDMI in. Let's level this. Power on. Push this back a little. It's actually a good point. You can actually probably use this as more of a weight distribution, like on the ground, or hit the surface. And power on. So I have everything on right now, but nothing's going on. So this is where hitting this green button will kick it on. There we go. And then now this can actually be a vlogging setup if you want it to be a vlogging setup. You can pretty much walk around with it and it is good to go. Let's just say I want to shoot at my desk. I can go ahead and just put it here, good to go. I can do a talking head in front of the computer. Let's just say I have another setup in the office where I want to just shoot in this office, and guess what? I can if I want to. That's the whole point of this mobile setup specifically. And you're only limited to the amount of power that you have in your battery. On the kit, this power extra, it doesn't matter what brand or what type you get, it's just more of this specific NPF battery, which is the 960. It's just more juice. You can shoot longer essentially for this. Cool. So this is, if you're looking just for this to stop here, great. There is other mic options that you might want to consider. You can use like your shotgun mic is what it's called, but I specifically am using the DJI adapter. So this is the DJI 2, which the adapter goes straight into the Sony's cold shoe, and I don't need a wire for this, which is beautiful. So everything's set up there. Now my wireless mic is set up on top, and then I could just go ahead and talk into this and be good to go. Or I do have on the kit a lav mic option. So for some of you who want to do lab setups, you can go ahead and connect the lav to the top, clip this onto wherever you need it, and you're good to go. So that is audio. You know, that's going to be important for most of you. Audio is very crucial when it comes to talking heads and content in general. So next is going to be how to make this with the teleprompter. Let's go over that real quick. I'm going to actually turn this off because we do need to move this over to the side. Unplug this. Let's unplug that for a second. The Elgato kit itself has plenty of ring options, so you can pretty much match it to your camera lens. So I'm going to attach this first. Let's get that going. Cool. So once you thread that in, you can mount your Elgato to it and also have it as a teleprompter. So this is where weight distribution is gonna be tricky, and you're gonna need to shift these legs one out. The legs are shifted one out. It does bring it lower a little bit, so you will lose advantage of some height, but there is an adjustment ring here. So pop this up a little so you do have some wiggle room as far as height. And this makes it a lot more stable. So I don't really have to worry about this falling over. I'm just doing some adjustments. Okay. Now, next is gonna be the monitor. Because you have this teleprompter here, I kind of have this off to the side where I could still see myself. Weight's good, okay, weight is good. Let's move this back over on the back side, plug it in for power. Turn this back on. actually want to move this off to behind here. So there is some wire management you're going to need to do, some weight distribution you're going to need to do, and we should be good to go. Let me turn on the power again. Okay, nice. So we're good here. As far as the camera setup, I can see what the camera is seeing right here. And if we want the teleprompter to work, there's one last step, or at least a couple things we want to get going. There's going to be a plug in the back here, and you do need something to attach it to. So I have this little anchor block, which I will plug into the USB, and then I need to go to the computer. So USB-C here to the computer there. This can all live in the back. I don't need this power cord, so let's just say you have a laptop, and if you have all this whole setup, like I can move with this, which is pretty cool. So we're good here. So teleprompter works, we have the computer working as well. I can see exactly everything on here. I will go, actually I don't really need to go over this since we went over each part. So every single part that you have seen here with optional to this Falcam, which I could go over now. So Falcam is just an ecosystem that you can use to pretty much take on and off, super easy. Hold the buttons to release, so it clicks as you saw there. Holding the button releases it, and there you go. So you can use this as a clamp as well. I did find this is a bit, it's not heavy, kind of like these newer ones or like the small rigs, they're kind of like lower quality, I feel like, but more heavier. So if you want to offset some of the weight, you can also attach the NPF plate onto here with one of these threads and kind of like have it more weight off to the side. But that's just another thing that you can attach or detach, up to you. Everything that you need is here on the screen. Everything that you've seen as far as in front of me with my whole setup is here on the screen. Without, I do need to add this little kit, and I need to add the anchor block as well. But once you have all of that, you're good to go. This is your YouTube mobile mini setup. A little bonus feature, if you guys stuck around, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm gonna go ahead and mount all of this setup to this bigger tripod. This bigger tripod does have a screw hole here, but not on the bottom. So this is where having the clamp will be crucial to mount one more thing. So let's go to that. All right, so next is gonna be this whole setup into a bigger tripod setup, just to give you an example of what it would look like on something bigger. So you can, yes, this is still technically mobile, but it's not as light. I feel like mobile light goes hand in hand, and this is what it looks like. And there we go. It's on the tripod, good to go. This is what it looks like when it's on a bigger tripod. Hopefully it was value-packed, information-packed of how to set this all up. Any questions, just shoot over to the kit description and then below. As far as what you need to order, everything you need to order is there. And yeah, happy shooting. Later, nerds.